What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Moose Mobile Auto Repair. And today we have a house call. We have a 2005 Honda Civic, and the customer's complaint is that they just replaced the oil pan gasket and the valve cover gasket, and they said that the car started and ran for 10 seconds and then it stalled, and now it just cranks but it won't start. I just got back from the hospital a few weeks ago, and I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy. So at the moment, my left side facial paralysis, but I'll talk about the details about that later. Let's verify the customer's complaint. The car has 307,996 kilometers on it. You want to crank it for me for a little bit? Okay, stop. Taking the spark plugs out to see if the engine has been flooded with fuel. And go from there.
So I have this one.
It's about half a liter or so low, so I want to top that up.
Yeah, because I was putting oil, then I crank it just so it goes in the filter and all, right?
Is this your funnel?
Yeah.
Be careful, the plastic here.
Or makeshift funnel.
Thank you. So I'm going to perform a compression test right now. So now I put the spark plugs back, and now the coils back. I'm gonna have a look at the timing cover here. I suspect that the timing belt broke or came off or something. So there's there's no compression in cylinder one. I didn't bother checking any of the other cylinders because I can already hear the engine that there's no compression in it. So I suspect the timing belt is not there. So after we put this back, we'll have a look at, at the timing belt and go from there. I can't hook up the ignition coil just to see if if the engine would run with the valve cover off. Want to see if we could crank it just for 2 or 3 seconds to see if it's, so I can see that it's turning or whatever.
Okay.
We'll get a little bit of oil, but not too much.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to see.
Right?
Yeah. You want to crank it just for a couple of seconds. Try it again. Yeah, again. Again. Stop. Just turn it off. It's weird. Right now it's at zero compression for some reason. Why? That's why I need to know. I think this engine is toast. Turn like see. Yeah, I'm almost concluding that something happened here. See the marks here on the pistons? The two marks?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that something might have happened. Those marks are not supposed to be there. I think the valves hit the pistons. You see how? You look closely. You see
I see. Yeah,
you see the difference when you look at the piston.
Yep.
Everywhere in here, it's very, you see sharp marks here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gouged.
Yeah. I think the valves, the intake valves. These are the exhaust. I think intake valves in the back hit the pistons because they're all the same. They're all the same on all of them.
Oh, they're all gouged?
Yeah, all the same.
I took pictures already, right?
I just I want to confirm first, right? I just want to make sure. So I don't see this very often. That's why. But I've seen something similar before. There could be a chance that if you remove the oil pan, you might find something in there. I don't know. I don't know if there's like, I'm trying to figure out on how did this happen, right? So it just doesn't happen like that. It wouldn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You said you heard a noise, right?
Yeah.
Did it sound like it sounded like really bad? Like it was a really bad.
It sounded bad.
Like a loud clanking noise or something.
Yeah. Kind of like loud clanking.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear a noise like that, you know it's.
So. I probably made small marks with my screwdriver, but this one, big marks.
I see they're big gouge marks. Big
you can tell there's a big difference there. So.
Yeah.
I really wish I could go inside and see if I could have a look at the valves just to make sure. I don't know if I could get in there, but. There's usually a way sometimes.
You can tell those marks are fresh.
You
can tell the marks are fresh. They're fresh. The marks, you can tell they're fresh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about where the valves hit? Oh, that they're fresh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happened, right?
That's right, yeah. Because I think you can even see bits of metal around there.
Did you I checked the timing on this, and everything seems to be okay and lined up. There was nothing wrong with the timing. So I found out that the timing belt was still there, and later I checked the pistons and I saw some gouge marks in the pistons on all four of them. So I'm assuming that I believe the intake valves hit the piston. So I don't know if it has to do with the work that the customer did for the oil pan and the valve cover gaskets. I don't know if it's unrelated or if it's just a coincidence. So I told the customer that the engine is no good because it has zero compression, and he's probably going to send this car to the auto graveyard and scrap it. The car has 308,000 kilometers on it, so he could put a new engine in it or a good used engine or scrap the car. It's all up to him. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Just wanted to conclude that I noticed that when I looked at the pictures of the pistons on the computer, I noticed that there were tiny holes, and they look like crater marks on some of the pistons. It seemed like the pistons overheated or something. And I also noticed that the gap between the cylinder walls and the pistons are not even on some of the pictures. Some gaps are smaller and some gaps are bigger, and so I think this engine had a catastrophic failure. The, uh, the, the cylinders or the pistons, uh, the entire engine wasn't able to build up any compression at all. It's zero compression in all cylinders. So I think this engine was just completely worn out, and that was it. I wasn't able to do a leak down check to confirm absolutely 100% on what the problem was. I couldn't confirm on what the problem was exactly because I didn't have access to an air compressor. So I was at a mobile location at the time, and so I couldn't do a leak down check. I couldn't do a leak down check because I didn't have access to an air compressor. But anyhow, I believe the pistons got hot because I had to look at the spark plugs and the insulator and the electrode of the spark plugs and the tips were badly worn out. And the customer stated that he just had them replaced not even 6 months ago. So I think this engine was burning a lot of oil and it was getting really hot. And I noticed that on some of the spark plugs I could smell some fuel. I think because maybe the engine was being cranked over too many times and dumping raw fuel. So and I also noticed that there was a lot of clearance on the rocker arm in the valve stem area for the valve lash adjustment. And I believe the intake or the exhaust valves, it's really hard to say if the valves got bent or damaged or dropped the seat. But I can safely say that this engine is done. It's toast. It's too badly worn out to build any compression for the engine to even start. And I don't think it's the result of a customer doing the oil pan and valve cover gaskets. I think it was nothing but a mere coincidence, and I think that it was just a coincidence that this engine it just gave out at that particular time.